What's good, y'all? Welcome back for part two. So we're gonna basically pick up where we left off at. All right. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe.
The UIR workshop is rooted in critical race theory. There he goes. And the facilitators at the event stated that white people are like the devil. The racism in white people's DNA. Racism is in white people's DNA. And that white
brothers, do me a favor real fast, right? Because everything that this dude is saying is quote unquote alleged. But I can tell you, anecdotally speaking, I've seen and heard this shit before with my own two eyes and two ears. Okay, but let's just stop for a second because Dr. Rashad Ritchie, is basically like writing this all off. Like, oh, he said that white people are like the devil is what they were saying and stuff like that. And oh, because a white employee complained and now all this other stuff. Hold on. If a quote unquote Caucasian, now this is why I don't. This is exactly why I don't do the black shit. And this is why people always ask me, "Oh, how come you always say quote unquote? You say quote unquote a lot." You know why I say it a lot? Because I do not subscribe to this bullshit. Because what I'm about to do is the bullshit, right? If a quote unquote white person were to say, "Oh, black people are like the devil," or "Black people are like monkeys," right? It's in their DNA. Quote unquote black people across the goddamn nation will have a fit, be in a goddamn uproar. Uproar. That person needs to lose their job, and they probably will lose their job. Their face will be plastered all over the tabloids across the fucking nation, right? But this is happening to this guy, and I believe it because it's happened to me. It's happened to me. I've seen it. They just try to write it off. This whole social justice crap, this whole BLM, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's all a big ass gang. That's all it is. They're a gang, and they're out there looking for men. And when they find you, they're gonna fucking try to destroy you and feed you to the goddamn BLM wolves. That's it. And if you don't know what the BLM wolves are, it's a whole bunch of fat black lesbians. All right, that's what they're trying to feed you to.
People are cannibals, according to him. Now, we don't have any independent evidence to validate any of this coming from the training. When Mr. Dimert objected, the facilitators used their platform to belittle and attack Mr. Dimert, according to him. Other co-workers that were present continued the mockery in the workplace and made Mr. Dimert, the office, a pariah. Mr. Dimert's co-workers called him a white supremacist. In the suit, Mr. Dimert alleges an internal investigation was triggered by his claims of a hostile work environment. However, the lead investigator was part of a RSJI task force. Brandon Kendall. In the final report, no fault was found on the side of the department. Dimert claims his civil rights were violated under the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution, and he is requiring $300,000 in damages. Now, that's not even the saddest part. The saddest part is, depending on what judge gets this case, damn it, the man may get every penny.
Yeah, he probably will. Because more than likely what's going to happen is they're going to settle. That's more than likely what's going to happen. They're going to wind up settling. Now, I didn't look into this case because this video came out a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago. So I don't know. But I doubt they're going to go to like actual trial. They're going to settle, so he's definitely going to get paid. And he should be paid. If you got to go through some bullshit like that, especially when the training is supposed to be about equity and inclusion, and you're telling them that, hey, like, I hear what you guys are saying, but like this shit don't got nothing to do about me, and it don't really got nothing to do about y'all either. But they're gonna say, "Oh no, you're the bad guy," because basically you're not agreeing with us. You have to agree with everything that we say, not some of it, everything. And that's just ridiculous. That's why I call them a gang. They are, again, they're a bunch of bullies running around trying to just freaking, you know, feel special, which is crazy to me. You should, if you don't feel special, that's a you problem. If you don't feel valued, that's a you problem. You know, it's a lot.
He has proclaimed he's entitled to. So let's go ahead and highlight the irony of this whole thing. The man is literally using constitutional dynamics created because of white racists. He's using those constitutional protections in order to claim that he was discriminated against because a city decided to provide a remedy in the context of the same constitutional dynamic.
Yeah, but you gotta understand something, brother. If the city is trying to remedy a situation, they can't approach it from a cookie cutter approach, because that is going to be discriminatory, especially if the training is like I'm saying, from the training that I've seen, it's saying no, this is white privilege. White privilege is, and when I read it, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, wow, like that's crazy. Basically, it was saying again, like, oh yeah, I hate to misquote, but it was basically saying like white people are better, or they were better, or whatever, they were doing better, and that's why they have the privilege and all sorts of stuff. And it was just like, no. So again, that is discrimination. Like, again, I felt discriminated against when I was in these damn classes, and I'm not even a quote unquote white man. I felt discriminated. Like, what the fuck? Because you know what it is. When they're doing this stuff, because again, mind you, I'm in corporate America. There aren't many quote unquote blacks in corporate America, right? So whenever we have these types of these lectures and crap, and if you don't know what I'm talking about because you didn't see part one, I'm talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion lectures, stuff like that. So whenever you have these lectures, and all eyes are always on the black person, like, oh, we feel really bad, and it's I'm telling you, it is the most awkward, ridiculous shit I've ever had to be a part of in my entire life. So yes, it is a bit discriminatory, because basically they're trying to. What happens is they say these things, they read from these papers, and they're looking at you, waiting for you to be like, oh yeah, that was messed up, and so they can be like, yeah, but we're not like that. We're not like that. Tyrone, we're not like that. It's one big fucking joke, man.
Which is,
and then you always got the one quote unquote black person that's in one of these meetings that's just like living it up, like, oh yeah, it's crazy, it's always like the flamboyant one too. It's always that person. I'm telling you, it's always that one.
Fairness, equity in the workplace, anti-discriminatory practices should be established. Because of culture, sometimes you have to be very intentional about making sure you get to the result you want. He finds the process to be, racist. All right.
If the process is saying that he's racist, he's benefited from racism, that he has white privilege without knowing anything about him, right? Because again, this training is cookie cutter. It's cookie cutter. It's not tailored for the group. It's cookie cutter. So if it's going to come out and paint this picture of him, and if he works with a lot of quote unquote blacks, simple-minded blacks at that, they're going to look at him like, oh, he's the goddamn plantation owner. So now he's going to be subject to a lot of vitriol, I'm sure. So yes, first of all, these classes do not stop racism. Because again, like I said in part one, if they did, you for sure, right? Rashad Ritchie would be the first one out here going on campaigns trying to push this across the nation. Every goddamn employer should have these meetings and lectures, because we're seeing racism drop at a rapid pace, right? Because we can track racism nowadays, clearly, right? That's why we're doing this. No, we can't. And no, they're not having these classes to stop racism. They're having these classes to cover their asses. Whenever any kind of company, corporation, entity, whatever, mandates certain classes and stuff like that, it's not for the fucking people. It's for them to cover their own asses. Oh, hey, we had the class. And then, so what happened was Susan from HR called me and told me, Tyrone, that you said something about Wendy, or you said something that Wendy didn't like. Oh yeah, no, we know you didn't say it to her, but she overheard it, or someone else told her, and she didn't like it, even though it had nothing to do with her. She felt offended by that. So we just had these trainings, Tyrone. So we're sorry, we're gonna have to let you go. That's what those trainings are there for. So now we can just let people go on stuff like that now, as opposed to saying, hey, there's nothing in the book on it. Hey, oh no, it's in the book. And we're hypersensitive about it. Everyone has to feel included, even if they're a shit employee and they're not doing anything. They have to feel included, right? And you see that happen all the time, especially in corporate America. You get shitty employees that don't do shit, but they have the goddamn ethics line on speed dial. They got HR on speed dial. Oh well, such and such did this, and I didn't like that. Well, man, I gotta wrap this video up because it's just corporate America, guys. Corporate America is not it. If you can, especially for you young brothers, if you're in school and you don't know what the hell you're doing in school, figure that shit out. Number one. Number two, if you're not in school and you're young enough, well, you can always go to school, right? But if you're young, like at ages where you should be in school, I'm mainly talking about college or whatever. If you don't want to go to college, get a trade. Learn how to be a plumber. Learn how to be an electrician, HVAC, whatever you name it. All right? Be your own man. Be your own boss. All right? Beat to your own drum. You don't want to, wind up working in corporate America, dealing with crap like this. It's not worth it.
Dan, thoughts here? Yeah, I guess it's racist in the sense that, his civil rights have been offended as a white man in Seattle. Like, I'm talking.
What the fuck is so funny about this? This is what I don't get, especially with these clown ass liberal, super liberal wokes. I don't get it. What the fuck is so funny? Because y'all the same niggas that'll be crying on TV about, oh my God, that's so racist and so insensitive and all this other stuff. But yet you're laughing. The brother is, well, that Caucasian man is not my brother, but that dude is saying basically, hey, this is what's going on at this workplace. I'm being castigated basically for being quote unquote white and not agreeing with this narrative. They're saying that I have white privilege. They don't know me. I don't have any privilege. He works for the city just like the other people work for the fucking city. So I don't understand what the hell's so funny. Because again, let some knuckleheaded black dude get shot up. They're going to be having a video like, this is the racism. All the cops are bad. All this dumbass shit. And look at this dude. No offense to the brother. But he just looks goofy as hell.
Racist. All right, Dan, thoughts here? Yeah, I guess it's racist in the sense that, his civil rights have been offended as a white man in Seattle. Like, I'm trying to work with him very much. Like, what is it? Like, your culture here has been messed with. Okay, here's the thing, Mr. Dimert. I've got some respect for your culture here. I think the old saying is, "Methink doth protest too much." Like, whoever is the one who is complaining, like, if you weren't racist or if you were an anti-racist or, like, if you were just like, hey, listen, I have black friends. Like, this does not bother me that much to spend some time, presumably paid, like by my workplace, by taking some classes where I'm learning about some of these things, maybe getting a better perspective.
But you're not learning anything. That's the point. Because there's nothing to learn there. It's indoctrination. They're trying to make people believe things that just aren't true. Now, if you're a fucking know-nothing nigga like you, brother, then yeah, you'll probably sit there and, like, again, remember, brothers, I just said it's always at least one of the flamboyant ones that are in these goddamn meetings living it up. This is Exhibit A right here. That's Exhibit A. Oh my God. So again, if you're a real man and you're in one of these goddamn meetings, whether you're goddamn Chinese, Japanese, Indian, but you're a real man, quote unquote black or quote unquote Caucasian, right? You're in these meetings and you're gonna be like, nah, this don't sit well. You know, the math ain't mathing with what the hell they're saying. You know, I see through the bullshit. I see through the bullshit. And the guy that's suing the city of Seattle, he said the last straw was when something else had happened. So he had already been going through that stuff, but he got to a point where he was like, you know, this is getting ridiculous. Now they're trying to like, you know, attack me, and they're saying like all white people are the devil and it's in their DNA. Like that's a bit over the damn top. And again, I'm not here to champion for. Actually, you know what? I'm not here to champion for this guy. I'm making this video because again, this channel is called The Truth Scope. So we deliver the truth, okay? We are removing the blinders. Now, my channel is for quote unquote black men, right? At the end of the day, that's who this channel is for. But obviously, by extension, all walks of men can take away substance from my videos. All right? We have to reestablish the man. Period. Right now, the quote unquote black community is trying so hard to not have that happen. The quote unquote black woman is squeezing so damn hard on the steering wheel. She is not trying to give it up. You know, she'll rather crash this motherfucker and let it burn than to fucking let her hands off that steering wheel so a black man could drive. Understand me? She'll let a nigga like this drive before she'll let a nigga like me drive that shit.
Perspective of not just anti-black racism, but how this stuff has affected, hell, Eastern Europeans at a certain point in American history, right? Like, you might learn a thing or two. No, instead he decides to lawyer up, try to argue for getting $300,000 in damages. I love this whole idea of him arguing this legal case that someone accosted him by saying he was complicit in the sins of slavery. Like, I'm sorry your fragility is showing here, like, really, really badly, and you spent a lot of money to show that fragility. But coming from the people who don't believe that speech equals violence, and they constantly argue that all the time, it seems really, really rich. But ultimately, he just seems like a clown to me. I would hope he didn't escalate to this.
He seems like a clown. That's funny, you know, like that's the pot calling the kettle black right there. But anyway, y'all, you know, that's basically it on this 2-part series. Ultimately, corporate America is not for men. It's not. Especially you, black men. It is not for you. All right? It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I hate it. I cannot stand it. I am working diligently to get out. Please do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. That is going to help me get out. And also, like I said in part 1, I have merch. I got shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, all of that. The website is up, but I'm not going to put it out there yet because, you know, I'm still working on the website, and I'm still working on some of the designs. I have some more people giving me some more. Well, they should be giving me. Well, what's today? They should be sending me some more designs on Thursday, but we'll see. You know, people are unreliable. All right. But anyway, y'all.